All right, let's turn now, or turn back, I guess, to the news we saw on Wednesday. The Twitter hack heard around the world. Dan Howley joins us now for more. Howley, I guess on what we do know at this point. We talked to a cybersecurity expert yesterday, and I said, so what do we do and don't know? And she rattled off a significantly longer list of stuff we didn't know. But it's been a couple days. Jack has said a few things. So where does Twitter stand right now on how it's explaining just exactly what happened on Wednesday night?
So we have a few things now that we do know. We do know that there were 130 accounts compromised. That's something that we didn't know before. Twitter released that number now. And we do know that it was $120,000 that people were scammed out of using this kind of Bitcoin fraud. Essentially what they did was they took over people's accounts and said they were Elon Musk or Obama. And for whatever reason, that if you sent them money, they would send you double that in return. People bought into that, and that's $120,000 out of their pockets. We also have heard from Twitter that it was through social engineering that this happened, where they kind of tricked someone within the company into giving up access to the back end that would give them the ability then to take over these accounts. But Motherboard is also now reporting that they spoke to the hackers who were responsible for this, and they claim that they paid off a Twitter employee. So we don't know if that's exactly correct yet. We don't know where that is. The FBI is obviously investigating this. But I spoke with a few cybersecurity experts who said that, look, we did get $120,000 stolen from people, yes, but it could have been far, far worse. He pointed to the fact that Elon Musk, for instance, had talked about Tesla's stock, and it rose and sank. We talked about how back in 2013, Syria had a hack against Obama's or the AP's Twitter account, saying that Obama was injured in 2 explosions at the White House, and that sent markets plummeting until the AP came back and said, no, that was a hack. That's not us. So we've seen Twitter use to these kinds of effects. And the idea here is that algorithms are tied so thoroughly to social media and the goings on, and President Trump uses it as his blowhorn. So there could have been some kind of other issue back here if it wasn't just for this Bitcoin stuff. And we still, frankly, don't know if the Bitcoin stuff was a feint for something larger. So there's still a lot going on.
Well, and that's the thing, Hallie, and it's really like a two-parter here. The first is like, it suggests, all that suggests there's like another shoe to drop here, kind of, that the people who did this were just sort of, maybe it's like a proof of concept, right? And we'll do the full thing later. That certainly seems to be a concern. And then second, like, do you think the average Twitter user right now views their account as effectively, like, I think my account has effectively been compromised. It's just no one cares about me, so they didn't take it over. But I guess I would assume at this point, nothing I have on Twitter is secure.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that nobody's passwords were attacked, and that, you know, there's been some screenshots floating around of this back end function, some from the folks that Motherboard had spoken to who claimed to be the hackers. If they ever appear on Twitter, Twitter's now deleting them right away. So we don't know if it was a larger kind of break-in where people's individual accounts could have been attacked, or it was just these 130 that for whatever reason they went after. They went after original accounts, some like with at and then one letter, or at and then one number. Really old accounts that people wouldn't be able to get access to if they were setting up a new one. And then these high-profile accounts. And that's really where the fear is. Does that mean that there was some underlying breach? And I think that's something that they need to find out, because, look, you don't go after Obama's Twitter account for $120,000 in Bitcoin. That's just not something you do if you're a hacker. You want something more. And there are attacks where you do see people poking and prodding to get deeper into systems, or to prove, as you said, a proof of concept. Now, this blew up into a huge issue, obviously, because of the big names behind it. So that's the thought, is maybe they were using this as a distraction to hit some other piece of Twitter's back end. But the FBI and the forensics teams going over this are going to have to find that out. In the meantime, some of the people I spoke to said, look, if Twitter's going to have a back end like this that's able to be breached by one person, if it was indeed one person's credentials that they abused, they have to step that up. And, you know, they've likened it to, and it may be a little, out there, but a nuclear carrier or a nuclear submarine, where you have two keys to hit the launch button. Well, if you got your hands on something this powerful, then maybe you need two people to independently authorize the access to this back end if you truly want to secure Twitter.
I mean, nothing makes you feel better than a nuclear football analogy to finish off the week, thinking about the security of the internet. All right, Dan Howley, thanks so much for joining us. Talk to you soon.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.